Room in the castle. Enter Hotspur, reading a letter. Hotspur. But for mine own part, my lord, I could be well contented to be there, in respect of the love I bear your house. He could be contented. Why is he not, then? In respect of the love he bears our house, he shows in this: he loves his own barn better than he loves our house. Let me see some more. The purpose you undertake is dangerous. Why, that's certain. 'Tis dangerous to take a cold, to sleep, to drink. But I tell you, my lord fool, out of this nettle, danger, we pluck this flower, safety. The purpose you undertake is dangerous, the friends you have named uncertain, the time itself unsorted, and your whole plot too light for the counterpoise of so great an opposition. Say you so, say you so? I say unto you again, you are a shallow, cowardly hind, and you lie. What a lack-brain is this! By the Lord, our plot is a good plot as ever was laid, our friends true and constant, a good plot, good friends, and full of expectation, an excellent plot, very good friends. What a frosty-spirited rogue is this! Why, my Lord of York commends the plot and the general course of the action. Zounds, an I were now by this rascal, I could brain him with his lady's fan. Is there not my father, my uncle, and myself? Lord Edmund Mortimer, my Lord of York, and Owen Glendower? Is there not besides the Douglas? Have I not all their letters to meet me in arms by the 9th of the next month, and are they not some of them set forward already? What a pagan rascal is this, an infidel! Ha! You shall see now, in very sincerity of fear and cold heart, will he to the king, and lay open all our proceedings. Oh, I could divide myself, and go to buffets, for moving such a dish of skim milk with so honorable an action. Hang him, let him tell the king, we are prepared. I will set forward tonight. Enter Lady Percy. How now, Kate? I must leave you within these 2 hours. Lady Percy. Oh, my good lord, why are you thus alone? For what offence have I this fortnight been a banished woman from my Harry's bed? Tell me, sweet lord, what is that takes from thee thy stomach, pleasure, and thy golden sleep? Why dost thou bend thine eyes upon the earth, and start so often when thou sitt'st alone? Why hast thou lost the fresh blood in thy cheeks, and given my treasures and my rights of thee to thick-eyed musing and cursed melancholy? In thy faint slumbers I by thee have watched, and heard thee murmur tales of iron wars, speak terms of manage to thy bounding steed, cry, Courage! To the field! And thou hast talked of sallies and retires, of trenches, tents, of palisadoes, frontiers, parapets, of basilisks, of cannon, culverin, of prisoners' ransom, and of soldiers slain, and all the currents of a heady fight. Thy spirit within thee hath been so at war, and thus hath so bestirred thee in thy sleep, that beads of sweat have stood upon thy brow like bubbles in a late disturbed stream, and in thy face strange motions have appeared, such as we see when men restrain their breath on some great sudden hest. Oh, what portents are these? Some heavy business hath my lord in hand, and I must know it, else he loves me not. Hotspur. What, ho! Enter a servant. Is Gilliams with the packet gone? Servant. He is, my lord, an hour ago. Hotspur. Hath butler brought those horses from the sheriff? Servant. 1 horse, my lord, he brought even now. Hotspur. What horse? A roan, a crop-ear, is it not? Servant. It is, my lord. Hotspur. That roan shall be my throne. Well, I will back him straight. O Esperance! Bid butler lead him forth into the park. Exit servant. Lady Percy. But hear you, my lord. Hotspur. What say'st thou, my lady? Lady Percy. What is it carries you away? Hotspur. Why, my horse, my love, my horse. Lady Percy. Out, you mad-headed ape! A weasel hath not such a deal of spleen as you are tossed with. In faith, I'll know your business, Harry, that I will. I fear my brother Mortimer doth stir about his title, and hath sent for you to line his enterprise. But if you go, Hotspur, So far afoot I shall be weary, love. Lady Percy. Come, come, you Parquito, answer me directly unto this question that I ask. In faith, I'll break thy little finger, Harry, if thou wilt not tell me all things true. Hotspur. Away, away, you trifler. Love, I love thee not, I care not for thee, Kate. This is no world to play with mammoths, and to tilt with lips. We must have bloody noses and cracked crowns, and pass them current too. God's me, my horse! What say'st thou, Kate? What wouldst thou have with me? Lady Percy. Do you not love me? Do you not indeed? Well, do not then, for since you love me not, I will not love myself. Do you not love me? Nay, tell me if you speak in jest or no. Hotspur. Come, wilt thou see me ride? And when I am a horseback I will swear I love thee infinitely. But hark you, Kate, I must not have you henceforth question me whither I go, nor reason whereabout. Whither I must, and to conclude, this evening must. I leave you, gentle Kate. I know you wise, but yet no farther wise than Harry Percy's wife. Constant you are, but yet a woman, and for secrecy, no lady closer, for I well believe thou wilt not utter what thou dost not know, and so far will I trust thee, gentle Kate. Lady Percy. How? So far? Hotspur. Not an inch further. But hark you, Kate, whither I go, thither shall you go too. Today will I set forth, tomorrow you. Will this content you, Kate? Lady Percy. It must, of force. Exeunt. Scene 4. Eastcheap. A room in the Boar's Head Tavern. Enter Prince Henry. Prince. Ned, prithee, come out of that fat room, and lend me thy hand to laugh a little. Enter Pioines. Poins. Where hast been, Hal? Prince. With 3 or 4 loggerheads amongst 3 or 4 score hogsheads. I have sounded the very base string of humility. Sirrah, I am sworn brother to a leash of drawers, and can call them all by their Christian names, as Tom, Dick, and Francis. They take it already upon their salvation that though I be but Prince of Wales, yet I am the King of Courtesy, and tell me flatly I am no proud Jack, like Falstaff, but a Corinthian, a lad of mettle, a good boy by the Lord, so they call me, and when I am King of England, I shall command all the good lads in Eastcheap. They call drinking deep, dying scarlet, and when you breathe in your watering they cry, Ham! And bid you play it off. To conclude, I am so good a proficient in 1/4 of an hour, that I can drink with any tinker in his own language during my life. I tell thee, Ned, thou hast lost much honor that thou wert not with me in this action. But sweet Ned, to sweeten which name of Ned I give thee this pennyworth of sugar, clapped even now into my hand by an underskinker, one that never spake other English in his life than 8 shillings and 6 pence. And you are welcome, with this shrill addition. Anon, anon, sir! Score a pint of bastard in the half-moon. Or so. But Ned, to drive away the time till Falstaff come, I prithee, do thou stand in some by-room, while I question my puny drawer to what end he gave me the sugar, and do thou never leave calling Francis, that his tale to me may be nothing but anon. Step aside, and I'll show thee a precedent. Exit Pioines. Poins. Within, Francis. Prince. Thou art perfect. Poins. Within, Francis. Enter Francis. Francis. Anon, anon, sir. Look down into the pomegranate, Ralph. Prince. Come hither, Francis. Francis. My lord? Prince. How long hast thou to serve, Francis? Francis. Forsooth, 5 years, and as much as to Pioines. Within. Francis. Francis. Anon, anon, sir. Prince. 5 year. By Our Lady, a long lease for the clinking of pewter. But, Francis, darest thou be so valiant as to play the coward with thy indenture, and show it a fair pair of heels, and run from it? Francis. O Lord, sir, I'll be sworn upon all the books in England I could find in my heart poins. Within. Francis. Francis. Anon, sir. Prince. How old art thou, Francis? Francis. Let me see, about Michaelmas next I shall be poins. Within. Francis. Francis. Anon, sir. Pray stay a little, my lord. Prince. Nay, but hark you, Francis, for the sugar thou gavest me, 'twas a pennyworth, was not? Francis. O Lord, I would it had been two. Prince. I will give thee for it £1,000. Ask me when thou wilt, and thou shalt have it. Poins. Within. Francis. Francis. Anon, anon. Prince. Anon, Francis? No, Francis, but tomorrow, Francis, or, Francis, a Thursday, or indeed, Francis, when thou wilt. But Francis, Francis. My lord? Prince. Wilt thou rob this leathern jerkin, crystal button, not pated, agate ring, puke stocking, caddis garter, smooth tongue, Spanish pouch, Francis? O Lord, sir, who do you mean? Prince. Why, then, your brown bastard is your only drink, for look you, Francis, your white canvas doublet will sully. In Barbary, sir, it cannot come to so much. Francis. What, sir? Poins. Within. Francis. Prince. Away, you rogue! Dost thou not hear them call? Here they both call him. The drawer stands amazed, not knowing which way to go. Enter Vintner. Vintner. What, standst thou still, and hear'st such a calling? Look to the guests within. Exit Francis. My lord, old Sir John with half a dozen more are at the door. Shall I let them in? Prince. Let them alone a while, and then open the door. Exit Vintner. Poins. Enter poins. Poins. Anon, anon, sir. Prince. Sirrah, Falstaff, and the rest of the thieves are at the door. Shall we be merry? Poins. As merry as crickets, my lad. But hark ye, what cunning match have you made with this jest of the drawer? Come, what's the issue? Prince. I am now of all humours that have showed themselves humours since the old days of Goodman Adam to the pupil age of this present 12 o'clock at midnight. Enter Francis. What's o'clock, Francis? Francis. Anon, anon, sir. Exit Francis. Prince. That ever this fellow should have fewer words than a parrot, and yet the son of a woman. His industry is upstairs, nd downstairs, his eloquence the parcel of a reckoning. I am not yet of Percy's mind, the Hotspur of the North, he that kills me some 6 or 7 dozen of Scots at a breakfast, washes his hands, and says to his wife, Fie upon this quiet life! I want work. O my sweet Harry, says she, how many hast thou killed today? Give my roan horse a drench, says he, and answers, some 14. An hour after. A trifle, a trifle. I prithee call in Falstaff. I'll play Percy, and that damned Brawn shall play Dame Mortimer his wife. Rivo, says the drunkard. Call in Ribs, call in Tallow. Enter Falstaff, Gadshill, Bardolph, and Peto, followed by Francis with wine. Poins. Welcome, Jack. Where hast thou been? Falstaff. A plague of all cowards, I say, and a vengeance too. Marry, and amen. Give me a cup of sack, boy. Ere I lead this life long, I'll sew netherstocks, and mend them and foot them too. A plague of all cowards. Give me a cup of sack, rogue. Is there no virtue extant? Drinks. Prince. Didst thou never see Titan kiss a dish of butter, pitiful-hearted Titan, that melted at the sweet tale of the suns? If thou didst, then behold that compound. Falstaff. You rogue, here's lime in this sack too. There is nothing but roguery to be found in villainous man, yet a coward is worse than a cup of sack with lime in it. A villainous coward! Go thy ways, old Jack. Die when thou wilt, if manhood, good manhood, be not forgot upon the face of the earth, then am I a shot and herring. There lives not 3 good men unhanged in England, and one of them is fat, and grows old, God help the while, a bad world, I say. I would I were a weaver, I could sing psalms or anything. A plague of all cowards, I say still. Prince. How now, Woolsack, what mutter you? Falstaff. A king's son! If I do not beat thee out of thy kingdom with the dagger of Lath, and drive all thy subjects afore thee like a flock of wild geese, I'll never wear hair on my face more. You, Prince of Wales. Prince. Why, you whoreson round man, what's the matter? Falstaff. Are not you a coward? Answer me to that, and Poins there? Poins. Zounds, ye fat paunch, and ye call me coward, by the Lord I'll stab thee. Falstaff. I call thee coward? I'll see thee damned ere I call thee coward, but I would give £1,000 I could run as fast as thou canst. You are straight enough in the shoulders, you care not who sees your back. Call you that backing of your friends? A plague upon such backing! Give me them that will face me. Give me a cup of sack. I am a rogue if I drunk today. Prince. O villain! Thy lips are scarce wiped since thou drunkst last. Falstaff. All is one for that. A plague of all cowards, still say I. Drinks. Prince. What's the matter? Falstaff. What's the matter? There be 4 of us here have ta'en £1,000 this day morning. Prince. Where is it, Jack, where is it? Falstaff. Where is it? Taken from us it is, 100 upon poor 4 of us. Prince. What, 100, man? Falstaff. I am a rogue if I were not at half sword with a dozen of them 2 hours together. I have scaped by miracle. I am 8 times thrust through the doublet, for through the hose, my buckler cut through and through, my sword hacked like a handsaw. Ecce signum! I never dealt better since I was a man, all would not do. A plague of all cowards! Let them speak. If they speak more or less than truth, they are villains, and the sons of darkness. Prince. Speak, sirs, how was it? Gadshill. We 4 set upon some dozen. Falstaff. 16 at least, my lord. Gadshill. And bound them. Peto. No, no, they were not bound. Falstaff. You rogue, they were bound, every man of them, or I am a Jew, else an Ebra Jew. Gadshill. As we were sharing, some 6 or 7 fresh men set upon us. Falstaff. And unbound the rest, and then come in the other. Prince. What, fought you with them all? Falstaff. All? I know not what you call all, but if I fought not with 50 of them I am a bunch of radish. If there were not 2 or 3 and 50 upon poor old Jack, then am I no 2-legged creature. Prince. Pray God you have not murdered some of them. Falstaff. Nay, that's past praying for. I have peppered 2 of them. 2 I am sure I have paid, 2 rogues in buckram suits. I tell thee what, Hal, if I tell thee a lie, spit in my face, call me hoarse. Thou knowest my old ward. Here I lay, and thus I bore my point. 4 rogues in buckram let drive at me. Prince. What, 4? Thou saidst but 2 even now. Falstaff. 4, Hal, I told thee 4. Poins. Aye, he said 4. Falstaff. These 4 came all affront, and mainly thrust at me. I made me no more ado, but took all their 7 points in my target thus. Prince. 7? Why, there were but 4 even now. Falstaff. In buckram? Poins. Aye, 4 in buckram suits. Falstaff. 7 by these hilts, or I am a villain else. Prince. Aside to Poins. Prithee let him alone, we shall have more anon. Falstaff. Dost thou hear me, Hal? Prince. Aye, and mark thee too, Jack. Falstaff. Do as. Oh, for it is worth the listening to. These 9 in buckram that I told thee of, Prince. So, 2 more already. Falstaff. Their points being broken poinus. Down fell their hose. Falstaff. Began to give me ground, but I followed me close, came in foot and hand, and with the thoughts 7 of the 11 I paid. Prince. O monstrous! 11 buckram men grown out of 2. Falstaff. But as the devil would have it, 3 misbegotten knaves in Kendal Green came at my back and let drive at me, for it was so dark, Hal, that thou couldst not see thy hand. Prince. These lies are like the father that begets them, gross as a mountain, open, palpable. Why, thou clay-brained guts, thou naughty-pated fool, thou whore-son, obscene greasy tallow-catch Falstaff. What, art thou mad? Art thou mad? Is not the truth the truth? Prince. Why, how couldst thou know these men in Kendal Green, when it was so dark thou couldst not see thy hand? Come, tell us your reason. What sayest thou to this? Poins. Come, your reason, Jack, your reason. Falstaff. What, upon compulsion? Zounds, and I were at the strappado, or all the racks in the world, I would not tell you on compulsion. Give you a reason on compulsion? If reasons were as plentiful as blackberries, I would give no man a reason upon compulsion. Prince. I'll be no longer guilty of this sin. This sanguine coward, this bedpresser, this horseback breaker, this huge hill of flesh Falstaff. S'blood, you starveling, you eel-skin, you dry neat-stung, you bull's pizzle, you stockfish, oh, for breath to utter what is like thee. You tailor's yard, you sheath, you bow-case, you vile-standing tuck, Prince. Well, breathe a while, and then to it again, and when thou hast tired thyself in base comparisons, hear me speak but this. Poins. Mark, Jack. Prince. We 2 saw you 4 set on 4, and bound them and were masters of their wealth. Mark now how a plain tale shall put you down. Then did we 2 set on you 4, and with a word outfaced you from your prize, and have it, and can show it you here in the house. And Falstaff, you carried your guts away as nimbly, with as quick dexterity, and roared for mercy, and still ran and roared, as ever I heard bull-calf. What a slave art thou to hack thy sword as thou hast done, and then say it was in fight? What trick, what device, what starting hole canst thou now find out to hide thee from this open and apparent shame? Poins. Come, let's hear, Jack, what trick hast thou now? Falstaff. By the Lord, I knew ye as well as he that made ye. Why, hear you, my masters, was it for me to kill the heir apparent? Should I turn upon the true prince? Why, thou knowest I am as valiant as Hercules, but beware instinct. The lion will not touch the true prince. Instinct is a great matter. I was now a coward on instinct. I shall think the better of myself, and thee, during my life I for a valiant lion, and thou for a true prince. But, by the Lord, lads, I am glad you have the money. Hostess clapped to the doors. Watch tonight, pray tomorrow. Gallants, lads, boys, hearts of gold, all the titles of good fellowship come to you. What, shall we be merry? Shall we have a play extempore? Prince. Content, and the argument shall be thy running away. Falstaff. Ah, no more of that, Hal, and thou lovest me. Enter the hostess. Hostess. O Jesu, my lord the prince. How now, my lady the hostess? What say'st thou to me? Hostess. Marry, my lord, there is a nobleman of the court at door would speak with you. He says he comes from your father. Prince. Give him as much as will make him a royal man, and send him back again to my mother. Falstaff. What manner of man is he? Hostess. An old man. Falstaff. What doth gravity out of his bed at midnight? Shall I give him his answer? Prince. Prithee do, Jack. Falstaff. Faith, and I'll send him packing. Exit. Prince. Now, sirs, by Our Lady, you fought fair, so did you, Peto. So did you, Bardolph. You are lions, too, you ran away upon instinct, you will not touch the true prince, no, fie! Bardolph. Faith, I ran when I saw others run. Prince. Faith, tell me now in earnest, how came Falstaff's sword so hacked? Peto. Why, he hacked it with his dagger, and said he would swear truth out of England, but he would make you believe it was done in fight, and persuaded us to do the like. Bardolph. Yea, and to tickle our noses with speargrass to make them bleed, and then to beslubber our garments with it, and swear it was the blood of true men. I did that, I did not this 7 year before. I blush to hear his monstrous devices. Prince. O villain, thou stolest the cup of sack 18 years ago, and wert taken with the manner, and ever since thou hast blushed extempore. Thou hadst fire and sword on thy side, and yet thou ranst away. What instinct hadst thou for it? Bardolph. My lord, do you see these meteors? Do you behold these exhalations? Prince. I do. Bardolph. What think you they portend? Prince. Hot livers and cold purses. Bardolph. Choler, my lord, I. If rightly taken. Prince. No, if rightly taken, halter. Enter Falstaff. Here comes lean Jack, here comes Barebone. How now, my sweet creature of bombast? How long is to go, Jack, since thou sawest thine own knee? Falstaff. My own knee? When I was about thy years, Hal, I was not an eagle's talon in the waist. I could have crept into any alderman's thumb ring, a plague of sighing and grief. It blows a man up like a bladder. There's villainous news abroad. Here was Sir John Bracy from your father. You must to the court in the morning. That same mad fellow of the north, Percy, and he of Wales that gave Amamon the bastinado, and made Lucifer cuckold, and swore the devil his true liegeman upon the cross of a Welsh hook. What a plague call you him? Poins. Oh, Glendower. Falstaff. Owen the same, and his son-in-law Mortimer, and old Northumberland, and that sprightly Scot of Scots, Douglas, that runs a horseback up a hill perpendicular, Prince. He that rides at high speed, and with his pistol kills a sparrow flying. Falstaff. You have hit it. Prince. So did he never the sparrow. Falstaff. Well, that rascal hath good mettle in him, he will not run. Prince. Why, what a rascal art thou then, to praise him so for running? Falstaff. A horseback, ye cuckoo, but afoot he will not budge a foot. Prince. Yes, Jack, upon instinct. Falstaff. I grant ye, upon instinct. Well, he is there too, and one Mordake, and 1,000 blue caps more. Worcester is stolen away tonight. Thy father's beard is turned white with the news. You may buy land now as cheap as stinking mackerel. Prince. Why then, it is like if there come a hot June, and this civil buffeting hold, we shall buy maidenheads as they buy hobnails, by the hundreds. Falstaff. By the mass, lad, thou sayest true. It is like we shall have good trading that way. But tell me, Hal, art not thou horrible afeard? Thou being heir apparent, could the world pick thee out 3 such enemies again as that fiend Douglas, that spirit Percy, and that devil Glendower? Art thou not horribly afraid? Doth not thy blood thrill at it? Prince. Not a whit, I faith. I lack some of thy instinct. Falstaff. Well, thou wilt be horribly chid tomorrow when thou comest to thy father. If thou love me, practice an answer. Prince. Do thou stand for my father and examine me upon the particulars of my life. Falstaff. Shall I? Content. This chair shall be my state, this dagger my scepter, and this cushion my crown. Prince. Thy state is taken for a joint stool, thy golden scepter for a leaden dagger, and thy precious rich crown for a pitiful bald crown. Falstaff. Well, and the fire of grace be not quite out of thee, now shalt thou be moved. Give me a cup of sack to make my eyes look red, that it may be thought I have wept, for I must speak in passion, and I will do it in King Cambyses' vein. Prince. Well, here is my leg. Falstaff. And here is my speech. Stand aside, nobility. Hostess. O Jesu, this is excellent sport, I' faith. Falstaff. Weep not, sweet queen, for trickling tears are vain. Hostess. Oh, the father, how he holds his countenance! Falstaff. For God's sake, lords, convey my tristful queen, for tears do stop the floodgates of her eyes. Hostess. O Jesu, he doth it as like one of these harlotry players as ever I see. Falstaff. Peace, good pine-pot, peace, good ticklebrain. Harry, I do not only marvel where thou spendest thy time, but also how thou art accompanied. For though the chamomile, the more it is trodden on, the faster it grows, yet youth, the more it is wasted, the sooner it wears. That thou art my son I have partly thy mother's word, partly my own opinion, but chiefly a villainous trick of thine eye, and a foolish hanging of thy nether lip, that doth warrant me. If then thou be son to me, here lies the point. Why, being son to me, art thou so pointed at? Shall the blessed Son of Heaven prove a meteor, and eat blackberries? A question not to be asked. Shall the Son of England prove a thief, and take purses? A question to be asked. There is a thing, Harry, which thou hast often heard of, and it is known to many in our land by the name of pitch. This pitch, as ancient writers do report, doth defile, so doth the company thou keepest. For, Harry, now I do not speak to thee in drink, but in tears, not in pleasure, but in passion, not in words only, but in woes also. And yet there is a virtuous man whom I have often noted in thy company, but I know not his name. Prince. What manner of man, and it like your majesty? Falstaff. A goodly portly man, I' faith, and a corpulent, of a cheerful look, a pleasing eye, and a most noble carriage, and, as I think, his age some 50, or, by Our Lady, inclining to 60, and now I remember me, his name is Falstaff. If that man should be lewdly given, he deceiveth me, for, Harry, I see virtue in his looks. If then the tree may be known by the fruit, as the fruit by the tree, then peremptorily I speak it, there is virtue in that Falstaff, him keep with, the rest banish.